Good morning, everybody. Hey, for those that came to the reception last night, the first time I opened my mouth, everyone went silent. So you folks have to do a little bit of a trial and error over the next 2 days. So when you see me, you're supposed to be very quiet and listen attentively and making sure you don't miss any critical news. But I'm Doug Lantagne. I'm the Dean of Extension, as well as the Director of the Food Systems Initiative here at the University of Vermont. And I want to welcome you to the University of Vermont and to Burlington, and I hope that you have a couple of great days here at the conference. So on behalf of myself, I have to remember to keep looking at my notes, but on behalf of myself and the other summit organizers, we're glad that you're here for the 5th Annual Food Systems Summit. We have a broad range of participants again this year. We have roughly 300 folks registered for the conference. There are other panelists and the like that are just coming in for their panel and leaving, and they're not part of the folks that we're counting. So we have well over 300 folks that will be flowing in and out of the Davis Center over the next 2 days. So take advantage of that by the networking that you do. We have 180 folks from academia from across the country, about 100 students. 70 from the nonprofit sector, 30 from the business sector, 12 from the government, 10 community members, and 100 of the 300 here are from out of state. So that's the breadth of the demography of the group that's here today. And there is a listing of all the participants downstairs on the table, so feel free to pick one up and continue to do networking after the conference, because we want you to network while you're here. We have networking breaks. We have networking and conversations at the table after the keynote speakers. And I have a special request of all the Vermont folks in the room and the UVM folks in the room to make sure to interact and make everyone from away feel very comfortable and very welcome here in the state of Vermont, and understanding what we're doing in the state of Vermont for food systems work and here at the University of Vermont. But although we're starting 8 minutes late, I'm kind of a stickler for starting on time, and so I'm going to cut my remarks a few minutes to try to pick up some of that time. But when we have breaks and you are networking and you're having a great time interacting, the only issue is you're going to be missing something else that's coming up next. So we'll ask you and we'll start warning you a few minutes before the next session or the next step that you have to do. And I know you're going to have to police each other to remind each other, oh, yep, we really should go on because Doug said we needed to. So, I always feel all powerful, so I would just like you to do that for me, please. So another time to get together will be dinner. Some of you will be joining us tonight at the Intervale. You bought your dinner tickets, and we'll be down at the Intervale for a special dinner for those that have chosen to do that. And the rest of you, as well as tomorrow night, will be on your own for dinner. There are just some wonderful restaurants in downtown Burlington and also in the surrounding area if you have vehicles. But if you're not, there's a whole range, and on the website you'll find a list of potential dining options. If you're doing it on your cell phone and the dining button doesn't look like it has a link connected to it, and you keep hitting it, be smart enough to scroll down and you'll get a list of restaurants. I did that last night. I said, why? I was going to tell Allison the link didn't work until I scrolled down, and you can see them all. So it does work. They are there. So again, there's directories to pick up to help facilitating networking after. Let's see. We want you to talk. We want you to get enthused. We want you to be excited. We want you to leave with thoughts about what you're going to do when you go back home, go back to your job, go back to your house, wherever you are going to go back to think about what you've learned from each other here today and tomorrow, and to think about what you can do to continue the work in food systems. So this is not a typical conference. We're asking you to think and work and go back, and you'll see that in the 3 keynote speakers that we have. We look at the social realm, we look at the biophysical realm, we look at the policy and political realm, always at the Food Systems Summit, always together. I think at UVM we do a very good job of connecting that natural and those social sciences together. We are 6 years into the first set of, we're 6 years into our first food systems initiative effort. Our formal, UVM has always been involved in food systems work at some level, although none of us called it food systems work in those days. But 6 years ago, we made a very particular effort at the University of Vermont to start a food systems initiative. And that initiative is based on looking at any issue from a transdisciplinary point of view. We think it's a very exciting time because we're also 6 months into looking forward for the next 5 to 6 years and beyond. And we've been working on a strategic plan or a strategic directions document. I don't actually like to use the word strategic plan, but strategic directions document, because we can never fully determine what the future will hold. But if we set our directions right, we can at least continue to follow those directions in the general way that we want to go. And there's some copies of this out by the fireplace, and I'll call it a draft strategic directions for 2016 to 2020. This was put together with dozens of faculty and folks from off campus as well that were interviewed and included. There are 5 goals in here, which I'll go over this morning, and there are objectives. And the reason I'm calling it a draft, we finished the objectives just a few weeks ago. We want to think about them over the summer. We want to refine them. We want to come back in the fall and work with our faculty and other collaborators, and then put together an implementation plan for this strategic directions document. So if you have input about what we should be doing or how you would tweak something we're proposing to do, we are open to input. We are open to listening to your input over the next 2 days so we can think about that, about where UVM might go in the realm of food systems. So goal number 1, if I'm there, is interdisciplinary research. Transdisciplinary research. It's still a recent concept. The approaches are evolving. There are many different perspectives on what that means. Remember, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, we've got a lot of different names through the years. In general, though, for us, it characterized by an intentional integration of academic disciplines, including the natural sciences, the social sciences, and the humanities, thereby generating new knowledge that could not be created without the integration of a diversity of disciplines and the ability to better understand and potentially solve problems that otherwise might not be so easily solved. And in that process, we'll also be studying ourselves and writing about how to best conduct transdisciplinary research. We are not saying we are the place where you can get all your answers, but we have decided we are going to pursue it and see if we can help develop answers, develop processes, learn what works and what doesn't work, and to share that with the academy. So transdisciplinary research has been and will continue to be our emphasis for solutions-oriented food systems projects here at the University of Vermont. The second goal is IntraUniversity Connectivity. This is critically important at the University of Vermont. I was asked this morning about how it works here, and I started by saying extension, and I'm the director. I think I was selected because they saw me as being Switzerland. Extension here at the University of Vermont is not within the College of Ag and Life Sciences, and food systems is not exclusively in the College of Ag and Life Sciences. It's in the humanities, it's in philosophy, it's in anthropology, it's in the Rubenstein School, it's in the Gunn Center, it's in the College of Medicine, it's in the College of Nursing, and it's in the College of Ag and Life Sciences. So we know the success of future effort rests on rich connections among the UVM food systems community, all those I just mentioned. It will be important to continue to support the social connections among faculty, staff, and students, which lay the groundwork for research and teaching collaborations. People that know each other tend to work with each other. If you don't know each other, it's hard to make that first connection. We will expand our support to faculty, staff, and students who are connecting across campus. We'll make a concerted effort to ensure that our support for interested faculty is broad and deep within the colleges and schools through initiatives such as grant writing support, and I'd say we've been quite successful in spreading a little money out and getting a lot more in return in successful grant support, seminars, social gatherings, and online communication across the campus. A third is external partnerships are critical at the University of Vermont. They're critical in Vermont. They're critical across the Northeast region. And I'd say they're critical across the nation and internationally. Partnerships is where we're going to make the biggest progress, I think, as an academy, as a society. We don't each individually know everything we need to know. So we strive to be an innovative partner and valuable resource for local, state, regional, national, and international communities through our teaching, through our research, and through our outreach. As the state's land-grant university, UVM has a history of applied research and outreach in support of healthy communities, and we continue that. Many of our faculty and students integrate coursework and research and service learning with Vermont farms, nonprofits, and government agencies. Our food systems internship program has placed students in 248 internships over the last 3 years. UVM benefits immensely from these collaborations as they provide opportunities for studying and addressing real-world challenges. Over the next 5 years, we aim to expand our capacity to support these collaborations and build new ones. We are on an academic campus, of course. We do have students. How many of us think about our students if you're from a campus? We are proud to be the first institution in the country to offer food systems education from the undergraduate through the doctoral level, as well as professional programs. The undergraduate food systems major was just approved this past May and will start in the fall. And I think the dean has already said before advertisement began, we have a cohort of 8. So we'll see where it goes once we open up the information. But the food systems graduate program, we have a third cohort of master's students that will be graduating or have graduated in the last few weeks. Our graduates have ended up in positions at the USDA, at Chartwell's, in the Peace Corps, to name just a few, as well as some who are continuing their studies in doctoral positions around the country. We welcome our first cohort of doctoral students this coming fall. In undergraduate programs, starting this fall, as I said, we'll have a major in food systems, but we'll also continue to offer the minor in food systems as well. And with non-degree programs, we have farmer training programs. We have 25 students that are here for a six-month period with a continuing education and distance education unit. There's a food hub management program. And in past years and in future years, we'll have our food systems leadership program. So over the coming year, we'll be developing resources to support the expected growth in these programs, developing our curricula to meet workforce needs, and continuing to support the facilities that make our educational programs possible, such as the Catamount Educational Farm and our cooking labs. The community. Finally, we want to provide an environment for everyone at our campus to learn about and gain experiences with food systems issues. We aim to promote new ideas, model responsible purchasing and healthy food choices, and serve as an institutional leader as other institutions of higher education increasingly incorporate food systems concepts and values into their campus culture. We have UVM Dining, and they're our partner in helping all our faculty, staff, and students begin to think about on a daily basis what they consume, how they consume, and where it comes from. We have an opportunity to shape the way our students approach food for the rest of their lives. We hope to expose students to cooking skills and instill healthy eating habits for a lifetime. Another way we are translating scholarship into practice is through the Real Food Challenge. The Real Food Challenge is a national student-led movement to track university food purchasing and shift to food products that are local, sustainable, fair, and humane. UVM has been tracking its purchases since 2009. In 2012, UVM signed the Real Food Campus Commitment, committing to purchasing 20% real food by 2020. Our student interns working closely with UVM Dining have just finished calculating our percentage for the past academic year. And this is the 2015-2016 academic year. And we are currently, and happy to announce, we're at 19% real food. So we have to set some new goals that are greater than the 20% by 2020 and to continue to move forward with real food. We will be working through the rest of this summer from input from this conference and other people that we talk to, and into the fall to develop specific steps and actions to achieve these 5 goals that I've just laid out. The document that is available will also show specific objectives that we've developed, and there are several for each goal that we'll continue to work on. But we invite your input, and we will take it seriously. Now I'd like to bring us back to where we are now. The summit is an annual time to come together, to highlight and learn about our new ideas from our speakers, generate knowledge and discussion, network with participants, and to further our awareness of important food systems issues. I'll repeat, and it says repeat right here. I wrote it down myself. Take advantage of those conversations. Leave inspired. My time's up. See, I even put my own timer. There we go. But I have one more job to do. Actually, I cut myself short, so I have to use some more time. We are now in the 5th year of our summit, and we look forward to continuing to expand it in the future, but we have a lot of people to thank. The summit is supported in part by funding from the William H. and Ann S. Macmillan Endowment. They provide us a nice sum of money each year to sponsor this event, and the Aiken Lecture Series. The George D. Aiken Center is next door. It's the Rubenstein School for the Environment. He was a governor and senator, long-serving senator for the state of Vermont, and he's probably most famously known for declaring, during the Vietnam War, declare victory and leave. So anyway, he's well known here, and they have a lecture series. It's one of our renowned lecture series here on campus, so they also support the food systems. We also like to thank some of the people and organizations that made the summit possible, in particular City Market, which is a local co-op market, Sodexo, who's our UVM dining partner. They're catering our lunches, American Flatbread, which is a Vermont company that's catering tonight's dinner. Have Your Cake Catering is catered our last night's reception, which was excellent. So we also have lots of other people we have to thank. Notice there are other colleges and schools up here, the Vermont Law School, the Middlebury College, there's Shelburne Farms, National Farm to School Network, Migrant Justice, Hunger Free Vermont. There's a whole consortium. The UVM is part of the Higher Education Food Systems Consortium in the state. It's made up of Sterling College, Green Mountain College, Middlebury College, the University of Vermont, NECI, the New England Culinary Institute, the Vermont State College System, and now I'm really feeling nervous I forgot somebody, but that's where I'll leave it. But it's that partnership that has made Vermont food systems work and our ability to work internationally as well, because what happens in small communities happens in small communities, and we know how to do that here at the University of Vermont. So if you've been here in the past, you'll notice some changes. We heard feedback that people wanted even more time to interact, so we have the breakout sessions. We have that as an opportunity for individuals who have come to propose what they would like as a breakout session, and then people voted on which breakout sessions they would likely attend. And so those are listed in your now I can't think of even the word, program. There we go. Thank you. So I welcome you to the conference. We know this is the time for valuable exchanges, and we will be doing a number of things with these opening sessions. I do have to say 2 are canceled, The two of them from tomorrow are canceled, so you don't have to look too closely today. However, there is one where our individual is sitting in an airport, and so it is being postponed until tomorrow, and that's Rachel Floyd's Affording Good, and so she's in an airport terminal waiting to get here, and so that will be postponed until tomorrow. It was at 3:15 today. It'll be postponed to tomorrow, the Mildred Livick Ballroom, and I forgot to ask at the same time, or the morning? Okay, so it'll be in the morning section. If you want to convene a small conversation on a particular topic that we haven't listed, write it down on the flip chart, which is where? Okay, oh, it says right there in the fireplace lounge. I should read ahead. So put your idea there. And if you're looking for something to do during that time slot, check out the conversations that have been proposed and stop by that room as they have been proposed. Lunch discussions, another way of interacting. There's a paper on the side table, which is in the back. So in the back table. And you can also write down a topic you'd like to discuss with other participants at lunch. And over the course of the morning, we invite you to look at the various topics that have been proposed and add your name to the one you want to participate in. And at lunch, find the table where that topic is being discussed. You can also join the conversation on Twitter using the hashtag UVM Food Summit. So as you can see, we did our best to adapt this event to meet your needs. And we're eager to know what you think of this year's summit and model. Please do share your thoughts in our conference evaluation. Thank you again for being here. We've got an exciting 2 days ahead of us with some great speakers. And now it is my pleasure to invite to the stage my colleague, Amy Trubek. Amy is a professor in the Nutrition and Food Sciences Department at the University of Vermont and faculty director for our very, 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 very important UVM's graduate program in food systems. So Amy is trained as a cultural anthropologist and chef, and some of us got to eat at her house yesterday with her and her husband cooking for us in an outside kitchen and oven. It was absolutely spectacular. Her interests include the history of the culinary profession, globalization of food supply, the relationship between taste and place, and cooking as a cultural practices. She teaches both undergraduate and graduate courses, and it goes on and on and on, and I'm going to cut it off. All right? Good. Thank you, Amy. Come on up.
Hello. Thank you all for joining us here at the University of Vermont for our 5th annual Food Systems Summit. We've considered food from many angles at the summit in our quest to figure out what makes a sustainable food system and possibly to build towards a sustainable food system for the future. At our summit, we always explore with a lot of complexity what might be required if we're going to try to make that happen. So this year, for the Food Systems Summit, we're devoting 2 days to the question, what makes food good? Last year's consideration was the right to food, using ideas about justice and equity, and this year's inquiry into the good might seem somehow far away or far apart, with the concept of justice maybe understood as a call to universalism, and the idea of the good maybe understood as a means of differentiation. However, I would argue that the good can be understood in as equally a universalist register as the just. Because before we can address what we should or what we ought to do in relationship to food, we have to develop some awareness both of what's happening in the world, but of our own assumptions in order to really move forward and to think about and build a vision for a future food system. The first thing that we have to realize is that food is so powerful because it's so necessary. It is the ultimate human universal. If we don't eat, we don't live, right? Wherever we are, whatever we do. But once we move beyond the dread or the absolute necessity of sustenance when we're thinking about food, we always have to consider the relationship of food to the world in some way. We always make this most base of human needs something more complex. To me, in a sense, that's part of the human condition, that we complicate food in a variety of incredibly rich and complex ways. We make food symbolize our social status. We make food a battleground for our political agendas. We make food determine our relationship to the natural world. We make food the way we tell our stories about ourselves, our families, our communities, and our nations. So when we ask questions about what makes food good, well, we're really asking our questions about values, morals, and aesthetics, for which there's a lot of interconnection around food. And when we ask these questions about what makes food good, we're always asking questions about ourselves, and we're asking questions about our relationships with others and our relationship to the natural world. And so it's our hope that the excellent set of keynote speakers will provide some new insights, and that maybe through all the conversations and discussions and in the panel sessions, we can start building together a shared understanding of good food in concert with any vision for sustainable food systems. So that's a lot of heavy lifting, so I wanted to kind of start off with some video clips, which for those of you who are teachers, it's one of the great new qualities of modern technology is you get to put the little short video clip into your lectures to sort of like make it a little more fun so you don't just have to be a talking head. So I thought, why not do it now? Because I do it all the time in my classes now. So I'm going to show two very short video clips. One is done with great seriousness, and the other is done with great satire. And both of them are sort of revealing some of the complexities of our understanding of what makes food good in the modern United States. And they're very specific to the United States. And I think what that does, what these clips can also tell us is both what is some of those assumptions and values and morals that are sort of embedded in our ideas of what makes food good today, but also how we don't really have a cultural consensus about what makes food good, and in a sense, a lot of the debate that's going on right now, and in a lot of our wondering and questioning anxiety about food is because we don't have that shared cultural consensus about what makes food good. So I'm going to show the one clip, and then I'm going to just put out there for you some of the assumptions that I think are in this clip. Then I'm going to show the second clip, and I put forward some of my assumptions. And then I'm just going to leave it and then let Charlotte, as the first keynote, sort of come in with her discussion. But we can have further discussions about these clips in other parts of the day. Okay.
Soylent began as an idea to create the ultimate food. The goal wasn't to replace food, but to provide a better alternative to what we usually eat.
It takes a little bit of perspective to see that food really is made out of chemicals. It is reducible, and we can build it back up, and we can change it, and we can make it better.
Soylent is an alternative to traditional food that gives people a convenient, affordable, and healthy way to fuel their bodies. It's a sustainable food source designed to keep the human body in a balanced state of ideal nutrition.
I have a background as an engineer. I studied electronics and computation, but what I really learned was how to break problems down. Everything is made of parts. Everything can be broken down.
Unlike most other foods which prioritize taste and texture, Soylent was engineered to maximize nutrition, to nourish the body in the most efficient way possible. To better understand the intricate requirements of the human body, the team consulted with nutritional experts and food scientists.
Your body is constantly replenishing its cells, and it needs parts to do that. Macronutrients, electrolytes, vitamins, minerals, we know what we're made of, and that's what Soylent is. The most simplistic thing that we could live on, and furthermore be quite healthy on.
Using Soylent as a resource means that you can take the time you would normally spend preparing, eating, and cleaning up after meals, and put that time into other areas of your life. It's shipped directly to you and comes in a powdered form that doesn't expire for 2 years. Okay. So here are some of the
assumptions about morals, aesthetics, and values that I see in this, but again, there's lots of room for conversation. Good food should always allow for optimum human health. Good food is reducible, replicable, and knowable. So that's that one. Okay, then the next one.
Thank you for buying me that bag the other day.
Come on. It's more for me than you.
God, you have beautiful eyes.
Everyone tells me that.
I'm the only one that told you that.
No, I don't mean like in a flirty way, but people, when I was a kid, like, you got great eyes. It's like, I'm just a guy.
You're my guy.
I am your guy.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hi, hello.
My name is Dana. I'll be taking care of you today. If you have any questions about the menu, please let me know.
I guess I do have a question about the chicken. If you could just tell us a little bit more about it.
The chicken is a heritage breed, woodland-raised chicken that's been fed a diet of sheep's milk, soy, and hazelnuts.
Okay, this is local?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna ask you just one more time, and it's local.
It is.
Is that USDA organic or Oregon organic or Portland organic?
It's just all across the board, organic.
The hazelnuts, these are local?
How big is the area where the chickens are able to roam free?
I'm sorry to interrupt. I had exactly the same question.
4 acres. Give me just a second. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
She's nice, right?
Well, you're doing the right thing.
I'm too apologetic.
You are.
I drove way too slow here today, didn't I? Yeah. I am so weird with that gas pedal. The thing just moves the whole vehicle forward. And
All right, so here is the chicken you'll be
Oh, yeah.
enjoying tonight.
You have this information. This is fantastic.
Absolutely. His name was Colin. Here are his papers, okay?
That's great. He looks like a happy little guy who runs around. A lot of friends, other chickens as friends. Putting his little wing around another one and kind of like palling around.
I don't know that I can speak to that level of intimate knowledge about him. They do a lot to make sure that their chickens are very happy.
When you say they, I mean, who are these people raising Colin?
It's a farm that's located about 30 miles south of Portland.
And you feel, like you have a good relationship with this farm?
We
I don't mean-
do.
But is that some guy on a yacht who lives in Miami?
Oh,
who's
goodness,
just
no.
saying that he's organic?
It tears at the core of my being the idea of someone just cashing in on a trend like organic.
No, I know the type, no.
Yeah.
Tell you what, we're gonna go check it out if you don't mind. Just if you could hold our seats.
Oh, now?
Yeah, I won't be right back.
We'll
Just
be
want to
right-
make sure.
Just, you know, thank you so much, Dana.
Sure.
Okay. A lot of professors at UVM use this clip. And a lot of students send us this clip too, so it's funny. Okay, here are some ideas that I have about what this clip might tell us. Good food makes us better and more noble human beings. Good food saves the world. Good food always implies that there is also something else, bad food. So on that note, I'm going to turn over to our esteemed keynotes.